Iron Man 2 kid, the brave little boy in the Iron Man mask, saved by Tony Stark in Iron Man 2, was actually a young Peter Parker. For years, MCU fans theorized this connection, and it turned out to be true. The scene occurs at the Stark Expo in Queens, New York, in the film released in 2010. A young boy wearing a plastic Iron Man helmet stands up to a hammer drone, and Iron Man lands, blasts the drone, and tells him, "Nice work, kid." The theory gained serious traction because the timeline fits perfectly, with Peter being roughly 8 or 9 years old at the time, and the location matches, since Peter Parker is from Queens. In June 2017, actor Tom Holland confirmed this theory in an interview with HuffPost while promoting Spider-Man: Homecoming. Holland stated he had a conversation with Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, just 20 minutes prior to the interview, and Feige gave him the green light to confirm it as canon. This retroactively established Spider-Man's first MCU appearance 6 years before Civil War. This is a prime example of fan headcanon becoming actual canon because the studio liked the idea, deepening the mentorship bond between Tony Stark and Peter Parker by giving them a history that predates their official meeting. Die Hard Commando. Die Hard was originally written as a sequel to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando. This long-standing Hollywood legend claims the film was meant to be Commando 2, but Schwarzenegger turned it down, leading to a rewrite for Bruce Willis. The original source material is the 1979 novel Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe, which Thorpe wrote as a sequel to his previous novel, The Detective. That book was adapted into a film starring Frank Sinatra. Contractually, Fox had to offer the role of John McClane to Frank Sinatra first, who was over 70 at the time. Sinatra declined. The script was then retooled as Commando 2 for Schwarzenegger, with screenwriter Stephen E. D'Souza reworking it into that concept. Schwarzenegger also passed on it. It was finally reworked into a standalone film, Die Hard, released in 1988, shifting the hero from a super soldier to an everyman cop. Stephen E. D'Souza confirmed that the script went through these various iterations. This confirms that one of cinema's greatest action movies exists partially because Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't want to do a sequel. It highlights how the invincible action hero trope was accidentally replaced by the vulnerable hero due to casting rejection. Kill Bill, Fox Force. Tarantino fans theorized that the Fox Force 5 pilot Mia Wallace describes in Pulp Fiction was actually foreshadowing the plot of Kill Bill. In Pulp Fiction, released in 1994, Mia Wallace, played by Uma Thurman, describes a failed TV pilot she starred in called Fox Force 5, featuring an ensemble cast of action heroines. She describes the characters as including a blonde leader, a Japanese member skilled in kung fu, other specialists, and herself as a master with a knife. This aligns thematically with the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad in Kill Bill, released in 2003 and 2004. Elle Driver represents the blonde character. O-Ren Ishii is the Japanese kung fu master. Vernita Green and other members represent the specialist roles, and the bride represents the master with blade weapons. Quentin Tarantino confirmed that Kill Bill exists as a movie within a movie in his cinematic universe, meaning Kill Bill is the movie the characters in Pulp Fiction would go to the theater to see. It confirms the interconnected nature of Tarantino's filmography and implies that Mia Wallace's failed pilot eventually got remade into a feature film within the fictional universe. Blade Runner, Deckard. The debate over whether Rick Deckard is a replicant in Blade Runner is perhaps the most famous sci-fi argument in history, with the director finally settling it. The theory claims that Deckard, played by Harrison Ford, is a replicant who doesn't know he is one, implanted with memories, just like Rachel. Key evidence includes the unicorn dream, where Deckard dreams of a unicorn, and later, Gaff leaves an origami unicorn at his apartment. The implication is that Gaff knows Deckard's dreams, because they are implanted memories, just like Rachel's. For years, Harrison Ford insisted Deckard was human to maintain audience connection, while Ridley Scott insisted he was a replicant. In the 2007 documentary, Dangerous Days, Making Blade Runner, Ridley Scott stated explicitly that yes, he's a replicant. Blade Runner 2049 director Denis Villeneuve intentionally kept it ambiguous to respect the original mystery, but Scott's definitive statement on the Final Cut version confirms the theory unsee is the director's intended truth. This changes the entire theme of the movie. If Deckard is human, it's a story about a man learning empathy from machines. If he is a replicant, it is a tragedy about a machine hunting its own kind, unaware of its nature, reinforcing the film's noir tragedy. Captain America Mjolnir. In Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America slightly budges Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, leading fans to theorize he could always lift it, but chose not to. The scene shows the Avengers taking turns trying to lift the hammer at a party. When Steve Rogers pulls, it moves slightly, and Thor looks panicked. Steve then gives up. The theory suggested that Steve realized he could lift it, but stopped to spare Thor's ego and embarrassment. This was confirmed in Avengers Endgame, released in 2019. When Cap fully wields the hammer. Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers confirmed in a Reddit AMA and Empire interview in May 2019 that Cap was always worthy. Anthony Russo stated that in their heads, he was able to wield it. He didn't know that until that moment in Ultron. But when he realized he could, he chose not to. This recontextualizes the Age of Ultron scene from Cap isn't quite ready to Cap is humble. It turns a moment of failure into a character-defining moment of humility, which is exactly why he is worthy. Django Shaft. When Django Unchained was released, fans noticed the connection between Kerry Washington's character name and the legendary blaxploitation hero Shaft. Kerry Washington plays Broomhilda von Shaft, and the theory claimed she and Django are the great-great-grandparents of John Shaft. Quentin Tarantino confirmed this at Comic-Con 2012, prior to the film's release. He stated explicitly that Broomhilda is the ancestor of John Shaft, making Django Unchained a canonical prequel to the Shaft movies released in 1971, 2000, and 2019. This creates a lineage of action heroes spanning the 1850s to the modern day. It serves as a bridge between the spaghetti western genre Tarantino was paying homage to and the blaxploitation genre that Shaft defined, linking the two eras of African-American action cinema history. By the way, if this is your kind of thing, I create videos like this regularly. I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. RoboCop Jesus. While RoboCop is known for its ultra-violence and satire, fans long theorized that Alex Murphy is a direct allegory for Jesus Christ. The parallels are striking. Murphy is a savior figure, brutally killed by sinners, resurrected, and walks on water during the final battle in the steel mill. Director Paul Verhoeven explicitly confirmed this was his intent in a 2010 interview with MTV. Verhoeven stated that the point of RoboCop, of course, is it is a Christ story. It is about a guy that gets crucified and then is resurrected in the next 50 minutes. The scene where Murphy's hand is blown off specifically mirrors the stigmata and crucifixion wounds. It elevates the film from a standard 80s shooter to an American Jesus myth. It explains the excessive cruelty of Murphy's death, as it had to be a crucifixion-level event to justify the resurrection. Event Horizon 40K. Sci-fi horror fans have long argued that Event Horizon is actually a secret prequel to the Warhammer 40,000 universe. The theory claims the gravity drive that allows the ship to travel faster than light actually opens a portal to the warp, the dimension of chaos in Warhammer lore. The madness, possession, and self-mutilation seen in the film mirror the influence of chaos demons. Screenwriter Philip Eisner confirmed on Twitter in 2017 that he played the hell out of 40K. So yes, it was definitely an influence. While not legally a prequel due to copyright, the creative intent was to mimic the warp travel mechanics of 40K. It provides a concrete visualization for one of the most abstract concepts in tabletop gaming. For Warhammer fans, this is the unofficial movie adaptation they never got. Total Recall Dream. Paul Verhoeven's Total Recall, released in 1990, leaves viewers questioning if Quaid's adventure on Mars is real or just the ego trip memory implant he purchased. The theory suggests the entire movie, after the recall chair sequence, is a dream or lobotomy fantasy. Evidence 1 is that the recall salesman describes the exact plot of the movie to Quaid before he goes under, telling him he'll get the girl, kill the bad guys, and save the planet. Evidence 2 is that Dr. Edgemar, who enters the dream, predicts Quaid will end up lobotomized with a blissful look on his face as the screen fades to white. The movie ends with a massive fade to white, which is unique for action movies, and Quaid beaming happily. Paul Verhoeven confirmed in the DVD commentary that he believes it is a dream. Verhoeven points to the Blue Sky on Mars ending as the confirmation that the lobotomy worked, fulfilling the fantasy promised by Recall. This changes the film from a hero's journey to a psychological horror where a man is trapped in a delusion while his brain is being destroyed. The happy ending is actually the moment of brain death or permanent dissociation. Wonder Woman Zeus. For decades, Wonder Woman's origin story was that she was sculpted from clay by her mother, Hippolyta. Fans theorized this was a lie to cover up a scandal. The clay origin was canon in comics for 50-plus years. In the New 52 comic reboot in 2011, writer Brian Azzarello changed this, revealing the clay story was a lie to protect Diana from Hera's wrath. The truth is that Diana is the biological daughter of Zeus and Hippolyta. The 2017 Wonder Woman movie adopted this confirmed theory and retcon. In the film, Ares explicitly reveals to Diana that she is the god-killer weapon left by Zeus, confirming her biological demigod status and debunking the clay story within the movie universe. This shifts Diana from a magical construct to a biological demigod, aligning her more closely with Greek tragedy and Hercules-style mythology rather than just magic clay. Us and Get Out. Jordan Peele fans theorized that Get Out and Us take place in the same universe, and Peele dropped an Easter egg to confirm it. In Get Out, released in 2017, the secret society seeks immortality and control through body swapping. In Us, released in 2019, the government attempted to control the population through tethered clones. Jordan Peele confirmed the connection via the 11/11 motif, and specifically the Holloway connection. He confirmed in the Us commentary that the Holloway referenced in Us is related to the grandfather in Get Out, linking the mysterious groups. While not a direct sequel, they operate on the same timeline of American experimentation. This establishes a Peeleverse, where hidden American conspiracies are the norm, suggesting a history of unethical experimentation on citizens. Predator Vietnam. On the surface, Predator is a sci-fi action romp, but critics and fans argued it was a metaphor for the frustration of the Vietnam War. The theory claims an elite, technologically superior American force enters a jungle, but is defeated by an enemy they cannot see, who uses the terrain against them. The soldiers' massive firepower, shown in the famous deforestation scene, hits nothing, symbolizing the futility of American military might in Vietnam. Director John McTiernan confirmed the subtext, admitting the film was about the alienation of soldiers and the realization that technology doesn't guarantee victory. The only survivor, Arnold, wins by ditching his technology and becoming primitive, embracing the jungle, which is the opposite of the U.S. strategy in Vietnam. It turns a dumb action movie into a poignant critique of the military-industrial complex. The monster represents the unseen, unconquerable nature of guerrilla warfare. E.T. Star Wars. A lighthearted but verified theory claims E.T. and Star Wars take place in the same universe. In E.T., released in 1982, E.T. recognizes a kid in a Yoda Halloween costume and says home, suggesting he knows the species. George Lucas returned the favor in Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace, released in 1999. In the Galactic Senate scene, a pod of E.T.'s species, called Asogians, is clearly visible voting. This officially confirms that E.T. is an alien from the Star Wars galaxy who visited Earth. This is confirmed as a friendly nod between Spielberg and Lucas, but it is technically canon on screen. It connects the two biggest sci-fi franchises of the 20th century. It implies E.T. is a Jedi, or at least Force-sensitive, which explains his levitation and healing powers. If you found this interesting, consider subscribing so you don't miss any future uploads. Thanks for watching.